Welcome to the bold analysis. Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President of Republic of Kenya, will have to exit public space, public service after 2027 general election or settle for less. And what was seen as an elevation of the man from Tharaka Nithi will likely turn out to be the end of his political career. I don't know how Kindiki will become president after failing to become deputy president in 2032. You can mark this podcast. You can mark my words. William Ruto is dropping Kithure Kindiki as the deputy president. And in this podcast, I'm going to look at the cunning message that has been delivered from Western Kenya. And clearly, where this discussion about running mate is being floated in the public space. And remember, Purity Ngirici has already started campaign, and the tone of those eyeing positions, they don't want to associate with the president. Kindly subscribe to our channel. And today is the 23rd day of March. As you can see, I'm still shooting in Kisumu as I'm finishing up our appeal for Eunice here. The lady you're seeing here who called and she was in pain. She had delivered. They thought she had some pain in the stomach. They thought there are effects of afterbirth, but later it was after examination they realized she was having some mild growth. So urgently there was a need for some two chemotherapy sessions, then a draining of the water kwa tumbo yake. So there is a procedure that was supposed to be done, and that is why we rushed here urgently. As I'm finishing up, I want to say thank you for those who've really responded to this, and I want to say this. We must fix our health. I've been looking, kuna dawa niliandikiwa. Nimetafuta the whole of this Kisumu from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I've just, not Saturday, Friday and Saturday, and I've just gotten a referral from Nairobi. So I'll have to be in Nairobi tomorrow in the morning so that I can find out how that drug can be brought to Kisumu. Then the sessions will start on Monday. So that is what is supposed to be done. And I believe that we'll be able to achieve that. So kindly let's support Ace. Let's support her as she moves to that critical stage. After the 2 chemotherapy sessions, she's going to undergo that procedure to drain the water. And we believe and we trust that we've tried our best. Healing is to God. And thank you for those who've responded. I think as I stand out, the deficit, I think, is only around 9,000. And this is very possible. Ladies and gentlemen.
Unasema maji imejaa kwa tumbo. Madaktari wanasema sasa hiyo maji ikitolewa wafanye chemo wanaweza ku-discharge.
Ati?
Madaktari wamesema sasa hiyo maji ikitolewa na ufanyiwa chemo unaweza kuwa discharged.
Nikishafanyiwa ninafanyiwa chemo first. After chemo ndio wananitolea maji. Akishanitolea maji ndio wananitoa hospitali.
I want us to look at this. There are 7 additional chances that have been introduced in the new list of principal secretaries. And I want you to see how this has developed. I think this is a list by Leto, those who want to know the new Nini that has been created.
Katika mabadiliko ya hivi punde serikalini, Rais William Ruto hakumwachisha kazi katibu yeyote na badala yake kubuni nafasi 7 zaidi serikalini kuwajumuisha wendani wa kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga. Idara mpya zilizojumuishwa ni pamoja na idara ya haki za binadamu, uratibu wa serikali kuu, uwekezaji wa umma na usimamizi wa mali, sayansi na utafiti, mipango maalum na huduma za watoto. Kupanuliwa kwa serikali jana kukienda kinyume na alivyoahidi Rais William Ruto mara kwa mara kuwa atapunguza gharama ya serikali ili kuondoa mzigo kwa mlipa ushuru. Kulingana na tume ya mishahara nchini SRC, afisi ya katibu wa wizara ni ya ngazi ya juu yenye jumla ya mshahara wa zaidi ya 700,000 kila mwezi, zikiwemo marupurupu. Mnamo Julai mwaka uliopita, mkuu wa utumishi wa umma Felix Kosgei alitoa taarifa kwa mawaziri wote kuwa Rais William Ruto aliamrisha idadi ya washauri serikalini ipunguzwe kwa 50%. Hii ikimaanisha kuwa washauri waliopewa kila katibu watapunguzwa kutoka 2 hadi 1. Hata hivyo, amri hii inaonekana kuzikwa kwenye kaburi la sahau.
Now, Mulembe Nation raised their voice regretting what they termed Raila betrayal. Because apparently, if you look at the new list that the president released, the Luhya Nation felt that they did not get a good share from Raila Odinga, which is not commensurate to the support they have been backing Raila. I don't want to delve much into that, but you can go and look at that list and try to tick the boxes whether they're genuine in that concern. But then, I think in response, the president declared the position of deputy president as one that is up for grabs in 2027. And I would want you to listen to the tone of these members of parliament who are attending an event attended by Oparanya, who is a member of the cabinet.
2027 Bwana William Samoei Ruto kama president, lakini naibu wake hapa hakuna mtu hapa katikati. Wakikuyu wanaleta mtu yao kule anaitwa deputy president Kindiki, si ndio? Wale ndugu zetu mashemeji wanatafuta mtu yao. Wale wa post wanatafuta mtu yao. Wale watu wa Northeastern wanatafuta mtu yao. Mimi nataka nikusii governor, former governor CS wetu Oparanya, toka nje sasa. Tunaiwani msiani. Atoke asitoke. Atoke asitoke. Atoke nje hata yeye akue pale kwa meza. Ashikane na Wetangula na Mudavadi wakae pale kwa meza. We want the running mate wa President Ruto 2027 atoke katika jamii ya Waluhya. Tumekosa kupangiwa na kupangwa. Sisi wenyewe tunapangwa na mtoto yetu. Mambo ya sisi kuingia kwa dirisha lazima ishe this time round. Wycliffe Oparanya is there courtesy of going through the window. We must now put our acts together, our numbers together, and negotiate properly in 2027. Sisi hatuwezi kuwa vile chairman amesema, wa kuambiwa tu chukua hii ndio imebaki. Saa hii tuko hapa, but we can't afford to continue being clueless, rudderless, and networkless. Lazima tushike network.
Hana ubaguzi. Amesema sisi wote kama viongozi ambao tunahudumia wananchi lazima atembee na sisi wote pamoja ili kuhakikisha hakuna nafasi ambayo tunaipoteza.
Tumemwona amefika kuwa waziri, yale ambayo anatufanyia. Naomba niungane na Mheshimiwa Aseka, niungane na Mheshimiwa Shinali, niungane na wabunge wenzangu kwamba sasa Mheshimiwa Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, tunakutoa hapa tukuweke kiwango ya kitaifa, mahali wanagawa chochote cha Western, wewe kaa hapo. 2027 wewe uwe candidate wetu pale naibu wa rais kusimamia watu wa Kenya kama deputy president.
Huyu Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya alikuwa waziri number 1 wa planning, akawa governor number 1, super governor. Kwa hivyo sisi kwa kauli moja tunajua ya kwamba tukimsongesha hapo mbele atatuletea maendeleo. Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, Tumekuwa na wewe Vihiga wamekubali. Tumekuwa Busia wamekubali. Tumekuwa na wewe kwa wale Waluya wa Mombasa wamekubali. Tumekuwa kwa wale Waluya wa Nairobi wamekubali. Kwa hivyo siku ya leo tuko na Khwisero declaration. Tunasema ya kwamba nyota yetu ya kupeleka mbele ni Wycliffe Ambetsa,
na tumesema 2027 mtu hataenda pande hii ama pande hii, wote tutakuwa mahali pamoja.
And now a close confidant of both the president and Raila Odinga. And these MPs were categorical that hapo juu ni Ruto, then hapa kwa deputy hakuna mtu. And I don't know, because after that I didn't see even Oparanya spoke after those MPs, and he never made any clarification or made any statement in response to what those MPs were saying. I wanted to listen to that. Now in politics, it is not just a coincidence that all the members of parliament from the Western area, and of course the ones that are attending that event, it is not a coincidence that all those number of MPs were attending that meeting. Number two, it is not a coincidence that they were speaking the same language. This is something that must have been discussed at a higher level, and then that just became a ground to deliver the message. Now, if, and I want to say this, if we impeached Rigathi Gachagua because of tribalism, then what should we call those kind of statements? And for me, I've been saying in this channel that politicians who are labeling the tribalism tag on Rigathi Gachagua, it is a lazy and it is a very dishonest accusation against a fellow politician, especially the national politicians, because their clout revolves around how many of your tribes follow you. Now, I want us to make some two observations in relation to that. This statement about deputy is supposed to achieve two objectives. Number one, the MPs are creating an impression to the voters that in Western Kenya, there should be no presidential candidate. We should only jostle for the deputy president. Come on, come on. So who says it has to be deputy? That is one of the impression, and that was one of the objectives there. That, you know, we should focus on the deputy president. Number two, Raila betrayal. Indirectly, those MPs are saying that Raila leg in broad-based government has not favored them, and they're looking for the Western leg. And that is why they are telling Oparanya to come out and be in the negotiation table. There's been a narrative that Raila Odinga is the leg that holds both Luo, Nyanza, and Western. And Western is now asking for its leg, because Kisi seem to be getting its foot and they're revolving around Matiang'i. But someone wants to create that impression that, you know what, and this is supposed to bring that. Now, one of the things, the reason why this is being brought is this. William Ruto understands kwamba Raila ni kigeugeu, na kweli yeye ni kigeugeu, anaweza geuka. And one of the things we not want to risk is a situation where Raila consolidates his bases or during this broad-based administration. Because if he can consolidate the Western and the Nyanza around and the coast around him, there is no guarantee that he has to say Ruto Tosha. He can as well consolidate that and ask the rest to support him and vie. Or he can still donate it to someone else, or can still direct it to the other people. So William Ruto is very wary. He doesn't want Raila to grow big. There have been reports about security yake imekuwa increased, a high-profile meeting, cabinet members consulting him, William Ruto consulting him all the time. Of course, during events, him being elevated, his profile being elevated around beyond Kindiki. And all that is to create that impression that Raila is big. But again, that power has to be controlled. And that is what Ruto wants to achieve, to make sure that Western has its own leg, that Western doesn't depend on Raila. In any case, Raila Meruka, Western can, William Ruto can still hold Western. That is one of the things he's so critical on, not to consolidate, Raila not to consolidate his base. And I also think so that he should not be allowed to consolidate his base because it will be out for grabs. This position is allegedly being created, and there have been a matter of reports that even when Ruto met Homa Bay MPs earlier this week, when he met them, I think that was on Wednesday, he also told them that they should think about presidency. Wanafaa mnipatie mwanzo kutafuta mmoja wenu hapa tuanze kutembea na yeye ili mimi pia nikiondoka mmoja wenu achukue. So this position of deputy president seems also to have been promised. And remember that meeting, Gladys Wanga, and there have been a lot of people vouching for Wanga to be given that position. And for me, I believe Wanga should deliver in Homa Bay first before even people talk about that. So this position has been promised, and this is what the president did. This is what President Ruto did before 2022. He promised everyone around him to keep them around. Then when the time came, it then became too late for you to change. Now, you remember, 2027 campaigns have started. And Purity Ngirici, an aspirant from Kirinyaga governorship from Kirinyaga, is actually telling the president something interesting. And when you listen to his tone, you will understand that Mount Kenya is not selling the Ruto agenda.
Hiyo ingine ningetaka niseme ni kwamba mimi as your person na mtoto wenyu, your sister, mama yenyu, na pia ambaye nimesimama na nyinyi all through, ni kwamba I know kuna mambo mengi sana ambayo sisi zote tunalia juu yake. Tunalia juu ya education, si ndio? Tunasema ile university model ni mbaya, si ndio? Tunasimama tena tunasema hii NHIF sababu iliisha, sasa hii isha imekuja pia imetupea matatizo, si ndio? Sasa tunaambia serikali, because we elected the government, si ndio? Tulichaguana, mlichaguana, mkichaguana, mnataka mtendewe haki na serikali ambayo mlipea kura. Hiyo ni ukweli ama ni urongo? Saa hii the government of Uhuru Kenyatta walianzia ile dam ya Viva Dam, si ndio? Na hiyo dam ya Viva Dam haijafika ile full potential yake ya ukulima ya hapa Mwea kwa sababu hizi canals hazijaisha. Wakati siasa ilikuwa inafanywa, kama watu wa Mwea tukaambiliwa kwamba hiyo dam itamalizwa, si ndio? Now as the people of Mwea, we are demanding from the government that it is our right wakuja watutengenezee hiyo canal, ndio tuweze kutumia hiyo maji na tutengeneze ukulima, ndio tuweze kuwa na chakula mingi ya kupea watu Kenya mzima. Kuna zile barabara ambayo serikali waliambiliana, si ndio? Kuna zile barabara wakaanza zikafika nusu na hazijaisha, si ndio? Now I'm sending a message and a strong message from these people of Mwea and Kirinyaga County, kwamba serikali waje watumalizie hizo barabara, whatever kilometers are remaining, kama ni ile ya Kajiji, kama ni ya Shoki Road, kama ni ile ya Karira, zote wakuja wamalize, because it is something they promised, they must deliver. Sindio? Moke matuikire maendeleo asubugire kama mategoke. Na matuikire maendeleo mito, sindio hiyo? Sisi tunataka hiyo. We do not want politics nyingi, sababu siasa si kesho na siasa si next year. We are going to elect, kufanya hiyo elections in 2027. But for now they promised, let them deliver. Sindio? Kaundo ya Ramondo tu akire konendo
This is some of the things that are actually weakening the whole debate, or they're actually weakening the Kithure Kindiki. If you ask me a question, Kevin, did Kithure Kindiki have to take that position? My answer is no. My answer is no. As a lawyer, the charges against the guy were flimsy. You don't know the motive. The motive was not so clear. He got into something. And if I'm so careful, if Kindiki is dropped as the deputy president, you know who have lost? Mount Kenya have lost, and they've lost a big time, because That was the man that they're supposed to prop up to become the president. Now, Rigathi was made, dropped halfway. Kindiki made, dropped halfway. So tell me in 2032, how will they maneuver their succession? And that will be keen that President Ruto wants to manage his succession. Now, these cabinet secretaries have been swapped like football players. I don't think that deputy president slot is an exemption. William Ruto do not have breaks when it comes to such. But why is this debate being brought now? Someone is bringing this debate to the people. Someone is bringing this debate because, number one, they want to create a diversion. The Standard once said that the president is fond of creating bombshells. They want to create a diversion. They want the country to talk about that. And that diversion is key because the deputy president position is apparently should become an agenda for the coming Mount Kenya tour. The more the people from the other regions will start talking of that region up for grabs, then the president will go to central Kenya with his MPs, and those MPs talk more about the deputy president position. This agenda is being set for Mount Kenya because there is no tangible development that really is going to excite the people. So, as much as we're going to talk development, I agree. The conversation about development, that doesn't entice the people. But when you talk about those positions, the people really get traction. Number three, someone is running a nationwide endorsement that there is no presidential candidate. We are only looking for a running mate. That is the agenda. A nationwide endorsement. And I don't think it's going to work. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Thank you.